What's up? It's your boy Kevin to turn on this motherfucking YouTube shit. This is serious. Wow, what the fuck?
Video of the Israeli government holding a private convention here in the United States. One of the people in attendance at this secret meeting was Judith Varney Shorer. She's a former Israeli consul general who was operating out of Atlanta. She was one of the main people saying that the biggest problem that they had was young black people in the United States. But don't worry, they've got some black leaders on the payroll.
The major problem of Israel is with the young generation of the black community. The problem of Israel is with the young generation of the black community. Black is with the young generation of the black community.
This was an Israeli government official who was saying this, not some low-level operative or some rogue member of their diplomatic corps. This was a senior member of their administrative government who was saying this on American soil. Their biggest problem wasn't Hamas or Hezbollah or the Palestinian Authority or Syria or even Iran. She said that Israel's biggest problem was young black people in the United States.
In war! Gang, 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 gang! Taking steps for success and making power moves to turn your predicament around to last for the miracles that Yahweh has blessed you in your life. Alright, let's get into it, man. Cutting people off. That's number one. Cutting people off, man. In life, man, you got a lot of people who want to distract you. You know what I'm saying? It's people in life that only come around when they see you doing good. Cut them off. It be people who don't like what you're doing. Cut them off. It's people who want to distract you from getting to your mission. Cut them off. You know what I'm saying? You only need people who gonna benefit you. Now, I'm not saying the people who benefit you that them the only people you need, because sometimes you need people who you gotta help them out. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta understand, it's a difference between helping and it's a difference between motherfuckers who just want to take and don't want to help out. You know what I'm saying? When you know that the path you're trying to take is gonna be dangerous, a lot of people ain't gonna be able to handle that. You know what I'm saying? When you know you have to keep your mindset on the right goal, a lot of people ain't gonna have the same goal as you. You think that people want to win. People want to have the spiritual wealth that you want. It's a lot of times it's not like that. It's a lot of people who got their own type of situations that it don't even involve you. You know what I'm saying? It only involves you for that second. And you would see people true colors. You know what I'm saying? I I tell y'all, the longer you be around people, man, the more you will see people true colors. You dig what I'm saying? People ain't gonna show you off the bat. You know what I'm saying? People come in, you know what I'm saying? They'll give you a perception of who they are. You know what I'm saying? But that's not who they is. You know what I'm saying? Because you will gradually see people change. You know what I'm saying? You will gradually see people change up on your crib. It's like when you know that you don't need to take these steps, you can take a baby step, because any step is a good step for progression. As long as you ain't taking steps backwards. You know what I'm saying? Unless you have to, you know what I'm saying, to like rebuild yourself. But as far as keep on going forward, you get what I'm saying? And people, they don't want to see people go forward. You know what I'm saying? And that's a big thing. You know what I'm saying? So I say the first one is cut people off who's not on the same wavelength and the same movement that you own. The other one, you gotta have a good set. You gotta have a good, let's say, routine, crib. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have a good routine. If you don't have no good routine, it's gonna be fucked up. You know what I'm saying? As far as when I say good routine, you know what I'm saying? Like no side, you gotta have like something that you know that's gonna be that, okay, when I get up, I gotta do this, and this. You know what I'm saying? If I don't do this, and this, my day is not gonna be how I want it to be. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta have a good routine. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with going off the routine and switching it up. You know what I'm saying? But if you going off the routine and it's not helping what you got going for your situation, what's the point? You know what I'm saying? Your routine is meant to have, you gotta have a good mindset. You gotta be spiritually good. You gotta be healthy. You gotta be mentally. You gotta have your good senses. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have good sense, like your eyes, your ears. You gotta have good senses to where you can avoid certain situations that you like, I know that if I do that, I'm gonna get fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Because you understand, a lot of times people don't have good routines. People be so fucked up in the mind or just fucked up in general that they don't give a fuck. They'll do whatever and they'll crash out immediately. You know what I'm saying? And you know, sometimes, you know, people crash out even when you got a good routine. But you want to have less type of confusion as possible. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have less fuck ups as possible. You know what I'm saying? And when you get to that routine that keeps you on your toes, that you feel like it's interesting and it's feel like it's like it motivates you. You know what I'm saying? And you can get that grind mode. You know what I'm saying? You gotta understand that routine, it got almost be set in stone. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, this all help you become a better success person in a war. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, in a war, you never know what the fuck can happen. You know what I'm saying? Any type of fuck up can be life or death. You know what I'm saying? It can be life or death. And you don't want that situation to be like, damn, if I would just went my normal routine, I could have been on this type of, I could be on a level where, you know what I'm saying, we could all win and we could all take back what's ours. We could all win a war and control our situation to where everybody can benefit. You know what I'm saying? Where it's just not 1% winning. You know what I'm saying? All right, we got that. The third one, you know what I'm saying? You gotta have good values and morals. You know what I'm saying? If you have good values and morals, you not gonna, you might get far in what you're doing, but would you feel like it's the right type of situation? You know what I'm saying? It's like if I see a situation happening and I don't speak up on it, would you feel like yourself? You know what I'm saying? Like if you see something and you like, hell no, I'm not doing that, and you switch out for like some money on or fame or success, would you feel like a good person? You know what I'm saying? Your morals and your values, they can help you become a solid, strong, foundational figurehead. You know what I'm saying? As far as people can look up to you and be like, I can see the value in this person. I can see that he don't just fight for anything. He just don't go for anything. He got a little bit of standards for himself, and you know, people will real. I ain't gonna say respect you, because people these days don't give a fuck if you help them out. If you do anything, they ain't gonna respect you. You know what I'm saying? But it will give you a sense of, okay, he stand on business. I know that I can't fuck with him, because if I fuck with him, he gonna make me go through this loop, this loop, this loop, this loop, that loop. Because a lot of times people play games. You get what I'm saying? And people play games, but as soon as you stand your ground, you got morals and values. People hate people who got a strong independence type of value mindset, because people want people who they can just abuse and use. You get what I'm saying? And once you cut that off expeditiously, immediately, these people will dip. You know what I'm saying? Because people would think like, okay, oh, it's not fun to be around him because he don't do this and that and this and this. But it's like, if I do that, this and that, it will destroy my values of what I think of, or, you know what I'm saying, or how I can get to how I got to where I got to. Because, you know, people want people who's easygoing. You know what I'm saying? People want people who just go with the flow. You know what I'm saying? Who would risk it all for what they got going. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it's nothing wrong with helping people out and paying attention to other people, but it's like, okay, if I help you out and I pay attention to your situation, will you pay attention to my situation? You know what I'm saying? It won't be like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, your values and your morals, you know, that can help you go a long way. It might not help you get to the highest path of where you want to get to, but you will get to a place where, you know, you will feel, at least you will feel comfortable with yourself and who you are as a person, because people, you know, they know not to play with you. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, you gotta, like, I say this, I hate being mean, but you gotta be mean sometimes, because niggas don't understand unless you come at them like that. You get what I'm saying? They so used to getting their way and this and that and this. You know, you gotta lock down on your situation, because once you get to where you need to get to, having your morals and your values, you know, people can realize that, okay, if I want to get on what he got going, I'm gonna have to stop doing that and this, and really focus on a better life, and value myself and value what he got going, and material, and not material, but like, what's that shit called when you manifest a good destiny and a good life. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what else you need after morals and values. You need to have discipline. You know what I'm saying? Discipline, you know, a lot of people hate discipline. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying discipline for other people. I'm saying, how can you discipline yourself? So let's say you so used to doing a lot of drugs, and you gotta be like, man, okay, I do too much drugs, or I have too much sex, or I do too much of this and that, or I watch too much of this and that. You know, you gotta really discipline yourself to be like, if I know this is hurting me as a person, I gotta let shit go. You know what I'm saying? Discipline is not easy for everybody, you know what I'm saying? Especially when, you know, you set your own discipline, you know what I'm saying? When you set your own discipline, man, people can't even handle their own discipline, you know what I'm saying? Because people won't even think about discipline. You know, they so used to doing whatever they want and doing this and that, and doing fuck up ass shit. You know, discipline can actually keep you on a righteous path. You know what I'm saying? You know, I ain't never said life gonna be easy. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say this was gonna be the quickest shit. I ain't gonna say this was gonna be the quickest war. I ain't gonna say this was gonna be like, we're just gonna dominate off the bat. You know what I'm saying? Because it's gonna take trials and error. But as long as you keep that discipline to be like, okay, if I do fuck up, I know I got discipline enough to come back. If I do leave from the path I got going, I will have enough discipline to get back to my path. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody's perfect. You know what I'm saying? We all human. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's perfect. You know, sometimes we see what we want and we like what we see, and you know, you sometimes you be like, I gotta have it, But you know what I'm saying? You gotta discipline yourself to be like, okay, I know I can't have it, so I gotta stop pursuing some shit, or I will get hurt. You know what I'm saying? And you know, if it's not helping out the masses or even yourself, you know, you can't just go to some shit that, you know, okay, if I go to this shit, it's gonna destroy everything I got going. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that because you gotta think about other people. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, you gotta understand people gonna do what they do, but you gotta do what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? And you know, when you realize that, when you discipline yourself for a higher success and a better value, it will help you out in the long run. Okay, and this is a good one. Not becoming the person you dislike the most. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, people like, oh yeah, I don't like that nigga. Oh, I don't fuck with that nigga. But then you turn out to be just like that nigga, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, once you can like realize that, you know, you gotta really pay attention to what you say and what you think, you know what I'm saying? Because you can say, oh, I don't like that nigga, I don't fuck with that nigga, or I don't mess with that bitch, I don't mess with that bitch or that female, and then you turn out to be just like that bitch and just like that female. You know what I'm saying? You want to become better than the person you dislike. You gotta become better than the people that, you know what I'm saying, you see when you grow up. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, you can't say, oh, I want to be just like that person. No, you gotta be like, I want to be better than that person. I tell people, they be like, cause I know there's a lot of people who say, oh, they want to be just like me when they grow up. I be like, man, don't be like me. Be better than me. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, being like me, I done fucked up a lot. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of situations that, you know, Crip, where I know it made me who I am, but you know, it's a fucked up ass situation. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people can't make through that situation the nigga went through. You know what I'm saying? You know, you gotta understand that if I learn from people's mistakes, how can I avoid their mistakes and win it? You know what I'm saying? So when you're looking at war strategies and looking at ways to take over situations and take over, you know what I'm saying, places where you need to keep Yahweh first, you know, you gotta look at their shit and like, okay, so he messed up right here and he did that, or she did that, or she fucked up right here, and okay, this is their downfall, so how can I learn from that downfall? And it's not like you praying people downfall, because, you know, but people, sometimes, you know, people fuck up, so you gotta understand that, okay, if I'm going on a path that where I need to take over and do what I need to do so we all can succeed, how can I not fall for the same mistakes that people fell for before? Because it's a lot of situations where I see where people go to jail for like 20 years of life, or get killed, or, you know, get raped or whatever. And you gotta be like, man, okay, so how can I avoid these situations so I won't be in that same predicament? Because, you know, you might not be able to come back from that situation. You'll be wasting a lot of time, and then there's a lot of people who count on you or believing in you, and then Crip, you know, you fuck up and then everything crashes. You know what I'm saying? So you just gotta understand that when you try to become a better person, you can't become the person that you hate the most, or who you look up to, because you gotta be better than these niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like it's nobody I want to be like. You know what I'm saying? I want to be better than everybody I've seen, everybody I hear, everybody that, you know what I'm saying, that came through in life. I want to be better. You know what I'm saying? I want to be the greatest. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, when you want to be something that you gotta be at, you gotta have them 5 goals, or them 5 goals that can help you manifest your dreams and keep you on the right path. Because there's a lot of shit in this world that don't want to see you win, that don't want to see you succeed. Because if they can't succeed, or they can't succeed with you, they don't want to see you succeed. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and sometimes, like I always say, if they can't succeed with you, they'll try to take what you got and give it to the next nigga or next bitch so they can succeed. You know what I'm saying? With them. You know what I'm saying? So you just gotta be aware that it's gonna be a lot of trickery in this world, and you need to have all these type of tips that can help you succeed in this life. So that's all I need to tell you, the steps to succeed and motivate people and get to where you need to get to in life, and keep Yahweh first. And we have this big hood and outside, big Crip in the gang, outside shit.
Hey, Dad, you know, dawg, when we link up, dawg, this shit be legendary. Even though this instrumental, you the engineer on it, so Kodak everywhere.